How you guys doing? This is good old Grandmaster Evan, and you're watching The Anonymous Liberty Media on here on YouTube. And you got the transmission. You are the resistance. Question: what actually is PC culture? Some would say it's political. Okay, it's been thrown around awfully a lot in the last few years, maybe even longer. Um, it's been used by third wave feminists, been used by social justice warriors, been used by the media, um, been used by college bureaucrats, college Democrats, um, just anybody who finds things so easily offensive. I mean, now these days anybody can find just something offensive. If you say something that they don't agree with, they would consider that hate speech. Oh well, here we go with that shit again. Well, I've been trying to wrap my head around this PC culture. Um, they call it political correctness. I call it the pussy culture because there's a lot of motherfuckers that are acting like a bunch of pussies and shit. Um, I've read, heard people getting called a bunch of names, like accusations of being a xenophobe, a homophobe, Islamophobe, every name in the book. Holy shit. Go on. Bill Maher had a show years ago called Politically Incorrect. It ran for a few years and it gained some controversy. And because Bill Maher can attack things with controversy, like religion is one of them. And because Bill Maher is a liberal, he's a liberal and shit. And he said some things the other night. He told a fried chicken joke to a ex CIA officer who's black on his show, and it gained huge controversy over what he said. Now if that was said by somebody who's a conservative Republican or somebody who's not a Democrat, there would be this big ass uproar. People would demand the person be fired, cancel the show, cancel the head of the network and whatnot because he allowed this shit to happen. Um, but it was done by a liberal who told a fried chicken joke to a black guy who's a ex CIA agent. And but it's okay for liberals to talk like this. I mean, shit. It's okay for a liberal to talk that. But if it was a Republican or independent or a a libertarian, holy crap, there will be people will march the streets with pitchforks and torches and shit. What the fuck? And you got Colin Kaepernick pulling his fucking shit. You know, today's the Super Bowl, and or when is the Super Bowl? I mean, it's such fucking nonsense. I mean, anything that's mild these days is considered racist, xenophobic, homophobic. I mean, any name in a book that they could throw at somebody or something. Okay. Um, about 2-3 months ago, somebody from the Washington Post said that Thanksgiving and the book Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, written by J.R.R. Tolkien, is racist. Oh. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? You're gonna go after a book that's over 100 years old, written by one of the legendary authors, J.R. Tolkien. Okay. How come they don't talk about Harry Potter? And see how it's all talking trash on the guy Dumbledore, who's a gay character in the film. You know, and nobody talked about that. But Gandalf is a pyromaniac. Thanksgiving is a holiday that's been a family tradition for many families for generations. A family get together, see family and friends, watch a pretty good football game, eat a fat turkey, you know, eat some pie, pumpkin pie, shepherd's pie, pecan pie, just as a family, enjoying a nice holiday. But no, we can't do that because Thanksgiving is racist. I find it very insulting because I love Thanksgiving. It's an awesome holiday. I like Thanksgiving. You know, I just feel that when you attack a holiday like that, you are crossing the line. Okay, I don't care who the fuck you are crossing the goddamn line. And you got these college dumbasses who have been interviewed by a chick that works for InfoWars. She was at the University of Cincinnati, home of the Bearcats. And she asked questions, interviewed the students and everything else. And they were being a little dumb fucks, you know. And she interviewed this one kid, and she asked him, "Do you condemn the violence against the Covington Catholic school students?" Because they were getting death threats, and there was threats on the school getting bombed and shit. And when she asked him the question, he says, No. You know, and they says, well, you're backing me in a corner. No, she was not. She was asking questions. No, because she wanted to hear from his students at the University of Cincinnati and hear their thoughts and on the matter and everything else. And they kept saying, well, they kept saying, well, he was using his white privilege and he was being racist. I'm like, um, the kid didn't move. He just stood there, didn't make a move, didn't say anything. Okay. Then all of a sudden, the term white privilege came up. Bitch, you're white too. It's awfully funny how you could be a white person yourself and calling out somebody for their white privilege, or you're a white man. Um, how dumb does that sound? And how stupid that would make somebody look? Okay, it's like if a black person was saying, "Well, they're calling out this black person because they're using their black privilege," or if someone from a Hispanic heritage called out someone for using their Hispanic privilege. What the fuck's going on? I mean, it does not make any sense. It's like wiping before you shit. It does not make any sense. I mean, it's like having the munchies and not be stoned. I mean, even on social media, people are getting booted off of Twitter, getting banned off of Facebook, and they're going to alternatives like Minds and Gab and MeWe, Honest, Parlor, BitChute, and so on and so forth. And but the big three, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, they're like they're gonna go over there and still say their shit because they're allowed to under the Constitution, the First Amendment of the Bill of Rights. What's that? Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, freedom to peacefully assemble, and the freedom to redress grievance of our government. That's the First Amendment. But we keep we keep hearing the term hate speech. Hate speech. Well, I wonder who does spew hate speech. Well, let's see. Honestly, most of this hate speech crap is coming from the fucking left. Okay? And what about fake news? Coming from the left. And you have to really ask yourself this question is, just because the president called out CNN for being fake news, all of a sudden you have Facebook trying to be all honorable, and yeah, we're going to battle fake news. Fuck you, Facebook. No, you're not. You're making it worse, you stupid fucks. And then you got Mark fucking Zuckerberg, okay? This guy is so. This guy is so. How do you say? Dumbass. He he wants to buy a news station, okay? And he wants to combat fake news. That's not how you do it, you dumb bastard. Thing is, to battle fake news is you tell the fucking truth. You be fucking honest to the people who's watching your fucking network. For example, CNN, their morning, their noon, their afternoon, their evening, and their late night programming all in the top 20 and at number 23 in the ratings. And they don't seem to get it. MSNBC, number 2 in ratings. Now CNN and MSNBC pull the same bullshit, but why is CNN at number 23 and MSNBC is at number 2, even though they do fake news? I mean, you have speakers like Ben Shapiro and Coulter and so on and so forth, and they go to these colleges to speak. But guess who has a problem with that? College bureaucrats and college Democrats have a big problem because they worry about the school safety. Oh my God, this they're going to cause a riot. The only time there was ever a riot at one time was about a couple of years ago. And it was caused by Antifa, not Milo Yiannopoulos. It was caused by Antifa and BAM. They caused $100,000 in damage. And the dean told the campus police, stand down. The mayor told the police to stand down and let Antifa and BAM damage the school. Now, that is a scar on the school's history and reputation. So, if if you think that and it's a PC culture, political correctness. We need political correctness. No, you don't. You just need to shut the fuck up and let people do what they need to do. If they want a demonstration, let them have it. If you talk somebody who's a conservative and they want to have a Republican, a conservative speaker, let them have it. Let them have their speaker because, but it's okay for liberal students at college campuses to have their liberal speaker, but oh no, they cannot have their conservative talk person. You know, I'm on my phone almost every day. I take out tweets. I take out comments on Facebook. I take out comments on Twitter and other platforms. And I tell you what, we got some dumb motherfuckers on both Twitter and Facebook, and also here on YouTube. And it is so insane, so insane. See, I don't call it political correctness. I call it the pussy culture. Because a lot of these young like these left wing, Jim Waffle heads are a bunch of fucking soft pussies and shit. You know, always have to find just anything offensive. Thanksgiving. Oh, it's racist. Lord of the Rings. It's a good book. The Hobbit. It's a good cartoon. It's racist. Here's an example. A couple of years ago, well, a few years ago, Gamergate, whatever the fuck that shit is, you know. Anita Sarkeesian was talking about. She's doing a review on Batman Arkham City. And she complained about two things. One is that she could not see Batman's ass because of his cape. And two, she got offended because of how Catwoman's suit was molded around her body, especially her ass area and her breast area, and how her body's toned, and it made guys go shooing. Look, Catwoman Catwoman, Wonder Woman, female characters in both Marvel and DC since the very beginning has evolved throughout the decades. Okay, I mean, you gotta understand, you know, it's like Batman, Superman, the Flash, the X-Men, Iron Man, the Hulk, and the characters evolved over the years through alliteration. And look at them now. Wonder Woman is no longer wearing a one piece. Okay, she's wearing like the top where there's no straps, but she's wearing pants, like no tight pants, like Catwoman. Each character evolved, changed throughout the years, depending on who's taking over the character and the storylines of both from DC and Marvel's stories and shit from the characters and stuff. And I mean, it's pretty insane that you can call yourself a feminist and get pissed off because you cannot man's ass because of his cape. Here you see it. I tried to turn Batman around so I could see his ass, and I couldn't do it because of his cape. But it's okay for the guys to look at Catwoman and drinking it while playing. What the fuck, dude? I mean, come on. It's a game. And she's a gamer herself. She's a gamer herself. There are women in the gaming business. There's some that uh, are head of illustration, head of graphics, head of, I mean, even head of a company, and even creating games themselves. Now, there was a game called Portal, Portal 1 and Portal 2, was created by a woman. Awesome game. An awesome game. And the graphics, the illustration, the way it was designed and put together, it was awesome. Awesome game. Really, really cool game. I haven't played. I played the demos. Even with the demos, dude, the game was pretty badass. You know? I mean, you have uh, women in racing, auto racing. You know, badass chicks driving behind a car going almost 150 miles an hour, 180 miles an hour around the track. Holy crap. Damn good drivers, too. But there's this thing called the gender pay gap. Okay. It's really fucking stupid. You look at the jobs, the kind of jobs. I mean, you have lawyers, doctors, executives, financial um, people in the financial institutions, schools, you know, head of a college, pediatrician, doctor. There's some women that own their own mechanic shop. Um, they have their own garage, and they're the boss. And you have women that are high in power, not just in the military or in the executive or in banking, but you also have some in monarchy and shit. You know, I mean, it's just that you have to kind of stop. Okay, stop, sit down, and actually think for a moment. Okay, sit down and think for a moment. And you have feminists that are saying that. I mean, for example, they're talking about okay again, video games. Laura Croft. Okay, Laura Croft, iconic character like Simus, iconic characters. Okay, now there was a now if you go into Pornhub and other porn sites, you would see uh, CGI Laura Croft getting really happy in some senses here, but it's just that they take like say Laura Croft or Red Sonja, and they'll create a porn version of those two characters. I mean, they have DC porn and Marvel porn where you got Storm, Jean Grey, and you got Emma Frost, and you got you call it the Black Widow and Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Power Girl, and Raven and Starfire, all those from the comics, and on Pornhub doing some goofy shit, you know. Now that will probably catch the eye, kind of catch the crosshairs of feminism, like, and the jaw was dropped like in shock. But yes, there are some women that do watch this stuff too. See, us guys, we're not the only ones with a dirty mind, a dirty imagination that could have a very vulgar, dirty humor. Women can have those too. Women can be vulgar too. They could have a dirty mind themselves. They could be raunchy. They could be naughty too. Okay. For example, the Queen of Mean, Liz Lampanelli, the raunchiest chick. Okay. Here's a white chick, a comedian, who talks about loving the BBC, and she, she'll make anybody laugh. Okay, now she did a joke. It was a video on YouTube called "Most Offensive Jokes," and the joke was, "What do you call a black woman who had 7 abortions?" Okay, now this coming from her, from one of her shows years ago, and the punchline was a crime fighter, and it was like that. There would kind of shock somebody. Okay, comedians can pull off some shocking shit, but still maintain. They're like magicians of comedy. They'll find a way to keep things clean. Look at Jerry Seinfeld. Over 30 years, the cleanest comic. You could be the cleanest comic and still make money. Okay, you look at Lenny Bruce, look at Red Fox, look at George Carlin, Peter Pryor. Okay, you look at Sam Kinison, Rodney Dangerfield. Okay, Bill Burr, Richard Belzer. Um, Tyson, Christopher Titus. Okay, Cat Williams. Okay, Cat Williams. Okay, the comedians have broke down bare. The name, Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers helped break down comedy for women. And now, there was a first a black comedian, a black female comedian that told raunchy jokes even back in the day, and she was the Black Mae West. She told the most raunchiest, dirty jokes, and it made people laugh. She broke the door down for not just black comedians and black female comedians, but also female comedians in general. Okay, broke down that barrier long before, and you have female comedians like Monique, who was part of the call it the original Lays of Comedy, and she was funny. She's still funny, and not these days. If you're a comedian and you come up with uh, a joke that's offensive and offends somebody, you got to apologize. Why do you gotta apologize for a joke? If you don't like the fucking joke, get the fuck out of the building. Get out of the fucking building if you get that so fucking offended. Get the fuck out of the building. Get the fuck out. And this is why. Look, I watch old school comedy, okay, and I watch comedians that would put some PC bastard in their place. Now, there's a comedian. He has his channel, and he totally owns people that would find things so that because not everything is offensive. It's just that some people want to find something and say, well, because of this, I'm offended. Okay, you're offended. So what? Big fucking deal. The world ain't gonna come to an end and shit. You know, I mean, it's just that when you wake up one morning, every day, every morning, and and you're kind of wondering what else can I find offensive, and put in a blog or put on Twitter, and I mean it's pretty funny now because when you look at the Covington bullshit, okay, these kids getting attacked. I mean, the one kid, the only young man who stood there, didn't say a word, move, just kind of smile. I mean, can you call it a smile or a smirk? I don't know. This young man, 15 years old, was attacked by celebrities, and one celebrity said, one talk show host said, "This kid has a face that I would love to punch." See, that's I mean, it's wrong, very wrong. These are just kids. They didn't do anything wrong. No, I mean the the media didn't play the full footage. They only play what they would go with. They were cherry picking certain footages and put together. Like the kids, it made the kids look like they did something or they said something. Okay, but the guy himself that was doing the drum and shit, he had a record. Okay, he never went to Vietnam. He was a National Guard guy. National Guard. Never went to Vietnam. Um, is he a veteran? Because it was is a veteran. I don't know. I mean, I mean, if you're National Guard, would you be a veteran? I don't know. But a lot of this PC shit is just being blown. I mean, just taking it to a crazy level and a at a I mean, in a weird direction, in a very weird direction. You know? But I've been doing this for almost 9 years. I've never gotten called any names that been thrown around. Um, uh, at all. I just think that if you take some time to actually stop, sit down, kind of re assess the situation, kind of take a step back, put everything everything aside, and kind of clear your head and kind of understand where other people are coming from. Because there has to be both sides have to be heard. It cannot be one-sided. Okay. If you listen to both sides, hear their shit, and actually understand where their both sides are coming from. But it seems that one side is getting more attention, being heard the most, and then the other side is like, how come we're not being heard? Well, I got something to say. How come? How come? Because the media is censoring. I mean, for example, the Yellow Vest movement. The media is totally blacking them out. No televised. I mean, nothing about this movement except for RT. RT is the only network that's showing this about the Yellow Vest movement. It's even gone to Canada, Australia, even here in the United States, and it's not being televised by any news network here in the United States. Not even Fox News. That's censorship right there. Right there, that is full blown censorship. Big time. So if you want to understand, you have to open your mind before you open your mouth. You have to really understand from not just one side, but also both sides. And sit down and listen. Because if you don't understand what's going on, I mean, you're going to get one bullshit from one side who just puts out name calling and violence, while one side wants to be heard and want to have violence never solves anything. It don't. All it does, it makes things worse. How come nobody sits the fuck down and actually hash things out like adults? But no. You got the left acting like fucking children, throwing out names and shit, want to cause violence and crap. I mean, come on. Sit down, put all your shit aside, put all this bull crap aside. Just be adults about it. Drop this PC bullshit. Drop this offensive crap aside and actually be adults, not children. Grow up. Stop being childish. Have a discussion, and maybe you can actually figure out how to solve the problem. Have a solution. Sit the fuck down and discuss on finding a solution. You could agree to disagree, but still sit the fuck down and hash it out like adults, civilly, peacefully, and actually come up with a solution to solve this bullshit. But there's some dumb fucks that don't want to fucking do it, because all I want to do is throw out name calling and want to hit somebody. If you want to be that fucking stupid and attack somebody, you're gonna find out that the person you're attacking is not gonna take this shit and gonna end up whooping your ass because you're not willing to be an adult, man up or woman up or whatever you gonna call it. Sit the fuck down, hash it out in a collective, civil, peaceful manner, and come up with a solution to stop this fucking shit. You know, because nobody thinks anymore. Nobody thinks about the consequences, the outcome and bullshit. Because you have to really sit down and think. But so that people are acting. They're not actually sitting down and think about the consequences, the outcome of the entire bullshit. But no, they just want to throw out names and want to hit something, hit somebody with 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 anything because they feel that the person they're attacking is not agreeing with them. I don't agree with anybody on the left. Simple as that. I don't agree with somebody who's a SJW, a a snowflake, I mean, if I feel offended because of what I'm saying, big fucking deal. You're offended, so what? Eat shit. College kids that are so brainwashed by the college bureaucrats and their college are becoming stupider by the day because they're brainwashed by people who thinks, well, for example, these two students at the University of Cincinnati was asked about the Covington kid who stood there, didn't move, didn't say a word, while the elderly guy was hitting the drum. The kid that stood there, and one of them was saying that he was using his white privilege. Really, how was this kid using his white privilege? How does somebody use a privilege? Okay, how come you don't see an angry black person calling out another black person for using their privilege? Or how come you don't see another Hispanic person calling out another Hispanic person for using their Hispanic privilege? How come you don't see a Asian person calling out another Asian person for using their Asian privilege? You don't. You, you don't. But but it's also crazy to see one white person calling out, for example, a white guy or a woman saying that another white man is dangerous. You're a white male. Really? Um, dude, you're white too, man. And what's also insane is that you see black a black person who's defending a white individual being accused of being a mouthpiece for the white supremacy. Um, were you born under a rock or something? Were you born in a barn? I mean, these things are being thrown out like crazy. I may look white, okay, but I'm actually biracial, really. I have my father's Mexican, my mother's Caucasian, and yeah, I do look white, but I'm half Mexican, half Caucasian. I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that. No problem. But what things are being said and thrown out, just absolutely fucking stupid. For the last 2 years, I've been trying to wrap my mind around this entire the term hate speech been thrown around, and individuals or a individual who's exercising their right to freedom of speech and whatnot, and freedom of religion, being accused of hate speech. Okay, there could be there could be a pastor, just preaching the gospel to people out in the street and whatnot. Somebody out of the blue just having issues of it, saying that their sign's offensive and it's hate speech. Like the guy, I mean, it could be just being peaceful as can be. Some wingnut have an issue with those crap, and all of a sudden, I mean, what's wrong with having freedom of speech? Okay, now that's like you cannot say fire in the building. Okay, whether it's actual fire, like fire, or fire as in affirmative action. But hate speech is actually free. It's still considered free speech, whether you call it hate, whether you call it hate speech or not. It's still free speech. Now, somebody might try to stifle your free speech with their free speech, which technically would not work. There's no there's no balance there. Okay. Now, I've been doing YouTube for I've been doing this channel for since 2015, and I've been doing my my other channel for almost 9 years, and I've never been accused of hate speech or have someone being offensive. Never, because I've never really. Well, I have had 2 videos removed last year within about uh, 3 months apart, and when I got the notice, I read the reason why it was removed. It did not add up. So the first video, I let it go. I let it go. Second video, I appealed it, and I asked the question: What evidence? What evidence do you supposedly have that states that my video violated the YouTube community guideline? Within 2 hours, and based on our opinion, your video still violated the YouTube community guideline. Um, how? I mean, how? What did it go wrong there? But you have to really think, really sit down and think and ask the question. I mean, both sides would need to put their differences aside, come together, actually sit down, and actually hash it out, discuss some shit, figure out about finding a solution, finding a solution. Um, of course, one side will probably like, no, we're not going to talk with these fucking losers here. No, at least have two people from this one side, two from the about three on one side, three on the other, and actually get together with with someone in the middle to mediate to mediate, and actually sit down, hash out, and the solution to solving this bullshit. Because as long as you got BAM and Antifa, it's not going to fucking happen. It ain't going to happen. If you want to find a solution, have a peaceful, civil discussion, hash it out, and maybe find some solution in the middle. Think, okay? Because violence is never the fucking answer. Never has been an answer. It's always that you have to really sit down, find a solution to put this shit to rest. Because people are tired of being assaulted by BAM and Antifa. Maybe if those cocksuckers would stay out of the way, mind their own business, and let both sides get together, hash the shit out, and maybe find a solution to solve the problem. There has been enough violence long enough. Put your PC bullshit aside. Put your whatever away. Put it away. Bury it. Drop this name calling crap because it ain't going to help you. I mean, it's just fucking stupid. Ignore the media because all they're going to do is stir the pot even more. All they're going to do is add more fuel to the fire, and that's that. Ignore the media. Ignore the media. Come together, hash out the problem. Because, again, violence is never the fucking answer. Because if you just, I mean, just because you guys disagree on some shit, at least at least agree to disagree. Put this bullshit you guys have aside and actually come together, hash it out peacefully, civilly, and have a discussion, and maybe even find a common ground to have a solution to the problem. No more, no less. Big time, pig time, no bullshit. Okay? That's it. I mean, just stop and think. You're letting they're letting the media brainwash you. You're letting the government that controls the media brainwash you. Ignore those motherfuckers. Think for yourself. Come together. Find a solution to this problem. And just maybe, you can find a neutral spot to go and do this without the media putting their fucking 2 cents in. That's the problem. That's the fucking problem. The media does not know how to mind their own fucking business. So both sides can come together at a neutral spot and actually hash it out peacefully and civilly. And have a neutral guy mediate. maybe even help solve the problem here. All right. My name is Grandmaster Evan. I'm the founder of the Anonymous Learning Media here on YouTube. Check me out on the podcast on Anchor.fm, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Castbox Breaker, Google Podcast, Overcast, Radio Republic, Pocket Cast, Stitcher, and Bullhorn. Also, check me out on Gab, Minds, MeWe, Holiness, and just Twitter. And also check out the Anonymous Lever Media on Facebook. And if you're new to this channel, please leave a like, subscribe, comment below. And don't forget to hit the bell for notification. And if you got the transmission, you are the resistance. I am Grandmaster Evan. And remember, knowledge is free. If you don't like it, go fuck yourself. Peace out. Revan out.